How can coral reef restoration contribute to the local community's development and sustain? This is one of the questions that the French NGO Coral Guardian seeks to answer with their approach to coral restoration. Hello, my name is Florina Jacob. I'm a Year 1 student of the MARES program as well as an intern in the French NGO Coral Guardian. I've been developing my immersion project since March until August 2020 in Paris under the supervision of Ruxandra Toderasc, the scientific co-director and project manager, as well as Martin Colognoli, the co-founder and director of the NGO. I've also been able to work with other people from the team, both in France and in Indonesia, such as Coco Tamlin, the communication manager, and Jonas Murdini, the local director. What is Coral Guardian? Coral Guardian is a French NGO founded in 2012, working internationally to conserve and restore coral reef ecosystems, working tightly with local communities, educate and reach the local and international public about the coral reefs and their importance and threats, develop scientific research in order to contribute to the discussion, and valorize coral reefs in order to develop economic alternatives. These actions in order to tackle the crisis that coral reefs are facing around the world. In fact, these highly diverse ecosystems, gatherers of around 25% of known marine diversity, are facing a multi-scale synergy of pressures that threaten their diversity. This degradation leads to a decline in the ecosystem services availability, which is particularly important in areas where populations are most vulnerable. In fact, according to recent estimations, in Southeast Asia, around 1 million fisheries are dependent on these ecosystems, which are at the same time very vulnerable to bleaching events. This, combined with local stressors such as dynamite or cyanide fishing, tackle the recovery capacity of the coral reef ecosystem as well as people's livelihood. So the main project of the NGO takes place in Indonesia, in Seraya Besar, a small village at north of the Flores Islands. And this village is inhabited by around 600 people, most of which depend on fisheries for their sustain. So what is the aim of the internship? In this scenario, the goal of my internship is part of two branches of the NGO: scientific research and outreach. Regarding scientific research, my job was to analyze and interpret the results derived from the social survey held in Seraya Besar since 2015. So the revision of this raw compilation allowed us to understand what are the trends in the fishing habits and the fish catch through the whole process of the project. Doing so, we could also strengthen the understanding of the local team about the social survey by defining research questions and clarifying the goal of it. For the results synthesis, we decided to use a simple and descriptive approach, using key indicators such as catch per unit of effort or main visited areas. Here is when the second part of the internship takes place, the outreach to the local and international audience. Because the results were adapted to be communicated to the local fishermen, evidencing the contribution of the restoration and conservation efforts in the local fisheries. Also, I've been able to monthly write a divulgation article based on scientific research on the socio-ecological aspect of coral reefs. Overall, the analysis held during the immersion project allowed us to quantify and communicate the impact that the project has had on the local fisheries, giving tools to the local fishermen to take decisions about their marine resources. It also contributed to the scientific description of the NGO efforts, legitimizing even more the social component of the project in Indonesia.